I welcome you all to this channel of Obedience is Better Than Sacrifice. My name is Joyce Chelangat Tirop. Thank you for watching. Today we are continuing with our topic of obedience because obedience is better than sacrifice. I would like us to look at it because I know it is not the first time for you to hear about obedience. Neither will it be the last time to hear about it, because most people and many people will come up and talk about obedience. Why? Because sin came as a result of disobedience. And if we are to be saved, then we will be saved by obedience to God. We need to obey the voice of God, and then we are made to be the children of God. We are given that power. We are given His Spirit to become His children, and then we walk in obedience with God, because salvation, I've realized salvation, in summary, is about obedience. So we need to learn to obey the voice of God. And today, I want us to look at people who obeyed the Lord without conditions. I have titled this sermon as Obedience Without a Caveat. There are people who obeyed the Lord without understanding exactly what the word of the Lord meant at that time. For example, Abraham. I would like us to look at Genesis chapter 22 from verses 1 to 3. The subtitle of this message is Abraham Getting Tested. Let's read together. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham, here I am," he replied. Then God said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. We are able to see clearly from the Bible that Abraham obeyed the voice of the Lord. You know, he is being told to sacrifice his only son. And it's not like God did not know that Abraham loved Isaac. After all, he had waited for him for so many years, for so long. And this is a son that he was blessed in his old age. I'm sure if it were me or you, we would, pray and tell God, wait first, wait, Lord, let me hold him a little more, a little bit longer. Lord, we could even intercede and tell God, no, please plan something else, Lord, because you had promised that you'll give me this, and what will you give me? We could have questioned God, but the Bible is very clear. When Abraham got the information from God, the next morning, that is what the Bible is saying in verses 3 of 22, that the next morning he got up and saddled his donkey. The Bible is not telling us what exactly went through the mind of Abraham or what went through his heart. We are just told that he obeyed, because the next morning he left. He left his family without telling people. Sometimes when we are obeying the voice of God, we need not to tell people. We need not to consult, because obedience is about me and God. It is about you and God. When we are called to obedience, we need to obey God without consultation. We need to obey God without a caveat of putting conditions on our way. Another example, I remember the popular Peter. When he was facing storms, he told Christ, "Can I come?" And he was told, "Yes, come." He was afraid, definitely. But he said, "Lord, at your word." And he stepped out of that boat. That was obedience, because he listened to the voice of Jesus and he stepped out by faith. Obedience is also faith. Obedience, we do obedience by way of faith, by way of doing life by faith, because we are told the just shall live by faith. Another example of obedience without a caveat is when some guys were told, this is about Jesus, the triumphal entry of Jerusalem. Jesus was going to Jerusalem and he needed a colt, and he just ordered for it. And remember, there were the owners. We are not even told who the names of the owners. We are just told in the book of Luke chapter 19 from verses 29. As he approached Bethphage and Bethany, at the hill called the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and as you enter it, you will find a colt tied there, which no one has ever ridden. Untie it and bring it here. If anyone asks you, 'Why are you untying it?' tell him, 'The Lord needs it.'" And those who were sent ahead went and found it just as he had told them. As they were untying the colt, its owners asked them, "Why are you untying the colt?" They replied, "The Lord needs it." Just like that. And the next thing we hear is that the colt was taken to Jesus. So this is also another guy who obeyed the Lord without conditions, without a caveat. He did not ask why. He did not ask for the money. Remember, we are told that this colt had never been ridden before. Maybe he had planned to sell it for a lot of money. But we are not told what happened to this guy. He just obeyed. The reason why this guy is written in this Bible is because he obeyed the voice of the Lord. I encourage you tonight, including myself, that we should obey the voice of the Lord without conditions, without a caveat. May the Lord help us so much so that we may trust him with everything that we have, so that we may trust him and obey him even without understanding exactly what he means at that time. Because for the Lord always the end result will be good, because he has got good plans according to his word, and the end result will be good. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. God bless you.